Heartbeat Alaska is made possible by the following. By Coca-Cola, serving Alaska quality soft drinks since 1937.
And by the Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute, educating consumers and promoting sales of Alaska seafood throughout the U.S. and in international markets.
There's a heartbeat, louder than thunder. Revolution is in the air. There's a heartbeat deep inside our mother. Are you too cool to care?
Hello and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska. I'm Jeannie Green, bringing you Native news and entertainment. Native news that you bring to your neighbors by sending video to us. And I'd like to say a special thank you to Charlene Fancher. She was a major contributor to a story that we aired last week on the Covenant High School reunion, and we mistakenly left her off our thank yous. Here she is with her family. It's people like Charlene Fancher that makes Heartbeat Alaska possible by sharing their news from their community, and I'd like to encourage you to do the same. On today's program, we're looking at some of that video sent to me, and this one is on Mr. Howard Luke. A wedding was held in his Camp Aliyah on the Tanana River. Mr. Howard Luke is an Athabascan elder. We have some new music videos sent to me from Tom B. out of Soar Records, Sound of America Records. All that plus much more. Today's a busy program as usual. But first, here's Gary Fife with Native news across the nation.
This is Native News Across the Nation. I'm Gary Fife. Native health agencies around the nation are going to be the recipients of a military surplus donation of medical supplies and equipment. The Indian Health Service will be reaping a windfall from a national program transferring millions of dollars worth of such supplies to Native contract and tribal health facilities. The Indian Health Service is teaming up with the Department of Defense to transfer $6 million worth of equipment to 120 locations around Native America. It's because of a congressional project called Trans-Am and the downsizing of the U.S. military. The donation will give those groups a break for their pocketbooks, since they will now not have to spend their own money for such supplies. The Indian Health Service Director, Dr. Michael Trujillo, says the transfer in donations did not fill all the gaps, but they were a step in the right direction. The Interior Department has awarded over $2 million in funds to implement the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. The federal law requires museums and federal agencies to catalog their holdings of any Native American remains and artifacts. They must then consult with the appropriate tribal officials in regards to returning them to the tribe of origin whenever possible. The deadline for such repatriation is November 16th. 2 Alaska Native villages have taken important steps toward governing their own affairs. The villagers of Akiak may now decide whether or not to dissolve its city government in favor of rule by a tribal council. And the village of Gamble has received federal funds to start its own drug court. Akiak villagers must vote to decide the question this winter on a ballot measure that many hope will draw in more federal funds by the tribal council's governing presence. In Gamble, a $26,000 grant will enable village representatives to research other such tribal courts in preparation for setting up one of their own. The people of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma are preparing for their annual national tribal holiday. The tribe is observing its 43rd such holiday to honor the people and culture of the Jalagi, to remember their struggles on the Trail of Tears, and to celebrate the reestablishment of the tribal government. The event will be held in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, August 31st through September 4th. Holiday activities include sports competitions, traditional dancing and cultural activities, a Miss Cherokee competition, and an address by the principal chief on the state of the Cherokee Nation. A federal district court in Rhode Island has ruled earlier this year that state regulations on historic preservation apply for native housing projects there. The case of the Narragansett Indian Tribe versus Narragansett Electric Company stated that although the planned housing development was located in Indian country, state laws applied unless their application would interfere with reservation self-governance or a right granted by federal law. The federal court did bar attempts by the state to impose other regulations. And finally, tribal leaders have been scratching their heads for years trying to come up with schemes to develop stable economies on reservations, and now they have a powerful ally, Harvard University. The Harvard Project on American Indian Economic Development was started in the 1980s as an attempt to understand the conditions under which successful reservation development might occur. Since that start, the Harvard Project has published a pair of major reports and is now conducting workshops with tribal leaders and professionals to see if their findings have some applicability. For more information, contact the Harvard Project on American Indian Economic Development at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And we'd like to say a special hello to some new viewers. Hello to the folks in Antioch, California. Welcome to Heartbeat, Alaska. And if you or your tribe or group has information or newsletters about yourselves, please share them with us here at Heartbeat, Alaska. We're always trying to increase our flow of information from Native America. And for Heartbeat, Alaska, this is Native News Across the Nation. I'm Gary Fife.
To friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed, and to which we are committed today at home and around the world.
Anybody have any questions on this unit?
Oh, yeah.
You frozen yet?
Just the surface, you.
A little soft in the middle.
We're cracking up back here, boss. I'm frozen first. I'm frozen down in front. Anything but Coca-Cola and we melt.
I love it. Give me that Coca-Cola.
Hey, nice ceiling fan.
That's Coca-Cola!
Ooh, that tickles.
I'm just gonna float around and soak this up for a while.
Delicious.
For Indigenous peoples around the world, for Native Americans in the lower 48, for our Native friends across Canada, Alaska, Russia, and Greenland. The teaching of the elders carries on our tradition. Today we visit with Athabascan elder Howard Luke, a traditional teacher. Galia means luck in Howard's lower Tanana Athabascan language. You take care of this luck in hunting and fishing by treating the environment and its creatures with respect. Even wood has life. He makes his sleds a traditional way. He bends the wood with tried and true patience and not by steaming.
You take all the life out of the wood.
Howard Luke knows about life. He was one of the founders of Galia Spirit Camp, located on his homestead, once the site of Chena Village. The village is gone now, but people still gather here thanks to Howard and his dedication to continue traditional teaching and to promote sobriety and wellness among his native people. Howard and his mother, Susie Silas, moved to Chena Village in 1937. Their original cabin still stands. right next to the one that he and his mother later built and where Howard spent most of his childhood. On this day, another gathering is taking place, the wedding of Jeanette and Rhett. Even in remote areas of Alaska, many weddings are ceremonial, steeped in Western culture. Howard remembers a different day.
Well, you know, years ago, I was just telling them, I said, when they used to marry people off, they just give them tea and sugar and flour and a tent. And they tie a piece of string on their finger and they're married.
We read about Hard Luke Spirit Camp in the News Miner this winter, how he had a group of high school students out here and was trying to teach them about the native customs and ways that we really believe in, rat traps in the wintertime, and that was really important to us. And so we decided to come out here and visit. And Howard was just wonderful. He brought us out here and showed us all around his home and the beautiful community hall that he has here. The Kashim, or Community Hall, is dedicated to Susie Silas, Howard's mother. It's named Hodaba, in Athabascan meaning daughter and mother. It was built with volunteer labor and donated materials. At one time, it was a busy place, providing individuals an opportunity to work with Native elders, to gain skills and attitudes that help them meet the demands of today's society. These days, things have slowed down for Howard Luke, but not by his choice. He needs financial assistance to carry on his work, and you can bet he will. This 72-year-old Athabascan is not a quitter. To him, life is like bending wood, the traditional way, using strength and patience. Thank you, Anne LaFavor, for the video on Mr. Howard Luke. We turn now from elders to the youth. Robby Bee and the Boys from the Res. This video may be controversial to some. The last time I played Robby Bee and the Boys from the Res, I received phone calls, some from elders. But please understand, I created Heartbeat Alaska as a forum, as a voice for all Native people. And Robby Bee is bringing his own fresh style, funk, and flavor to the hip-hop scene. The sound of Native American rap that he calls powwow, hip-hop, red house swing.
Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed and to which we are committed today at home and around the world.
Anybody have any questions on this unit? If not, you're excused.
Once was ours. Before your progress took Mother Nature's life, with big cities filled with cars. And all men are created equal. Are you sure that you covered every base? Is there something more than just poetic lines? Don't exclude the red race. Let's talk about education. 1891 wounded knee. To this day, the massacre isn't over teaching truth in history. You say love it or leave it. But have you thought about what you say? If you're addressing me or any of my people, this is our land anyway. I'm living in the land of the wanna be free, surviving in a country taken from me, trying to break away and find my sanity, fight for my rights and my dignity. I'm with all the gangs, drugs, crooked cops. You tell me, are we real and free, the way we want to be? 'Cause if we are set, let us help tear free. my rise and my dignity. And with all the hunger, homeless, chaos, greed, you tell me, are we really free for where we want to be? Or are we living in the land of the wanna be free? 500 years of injustice, it's time to let freedom ring. The abuse you have put on our people is like the beating of Rodney King. Through inferior education, or with a gun to our head, it's the same. Cause when it comes to the first American people, in 500 years, nothing's changed. You can celebrate Columbus, but we're the ones that pay the cost. You say you discovered a new land, we were already here, he was lost. It's time we told our story and let the world know how we feel, and erase all the lies and the stereotypes so equality can't be real. For now, it's a land of the wanna be free, and I'm surviving in a country taken from me. Trying to break away from my sanity, fighting for my rights and my dignity. I was all the hunger, homeless, chaos, greed. You tell me, are we really free the way we want to be? Or are we living in the land of the wanna be free?
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Heartbeat Alaska.
Thank you, Soul Records, for contributing that video, Robby Bee and the Boys from the Res. And I do appreciate your opinions and your phone calls. Heartbeat Alaska was created as a voice for Native Americans, a voice for music of all types as well. Let's travel now to Venetie, Alaska. Nina Roberts, an elder, passed away recently, and the natives there held a potlatch in her honor. The potlatch is a traditional gathering and feast. The Athabascan people of Venetie, Alaska, held a potlatch to honor the memory of Nina Roberts, an elder who had recently passed away. Moose and caribou are the favorite food of the Gwich'in Indians. Very little is wasted. Most of the moose is eaten. The hide is tanned, and clothing is made from it. In earlier times, Athabascans would also use heavy dried moose skins as shields in battles with enemies. The Gwich'in were once a nomadic people. They used hides to shape portable dome-shaped caribou or skin tents, constructed out of curved poles lashed together. The structure was about 14 feet in diameter and 8 feet high. During the winter, it was heavily insulated with evergreen boughs and snow, allowing the people relative comfort in some of the coldest temperatures on Earth. When Nina Roberts passed away, she took with her memories of a different time, a different way of life. As a child, she migrated with her parents, with the game animals from which they depended for food and clothing. She was taught the way of a traditional lifestyle, which she shared with the younger generation. The Gwich'in people have lived in this land for centuries. Most of the tribe's members had died from tuberculosis back in the 1930s and 40s, also from starvation and harsh winters and tribal wars, hardships that nearly led to their extinction. Today, the Gwich'in are a strong people, gathering together to celebrate the life of Nina Roberts. Nina would probably approve of this potlatch. It demonstrates the Athabascan tradition of sharing, of feasting, taking care of each other, nurturing body and soul to face another season in Indian country. Thank you once again for joining us for another Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Entertainment. Native news that you create by sending video to me. It's really very simple. Please give me a call. Call collect area code 907-563-7440. No matter what's happening in your community, if we haven't aired you before, we'd be very happy to get you on. This time of year, there's a lot of things happening. Preparation for food to be put up for the winter, preparation for hunting, many different things that we'd love to share with our Indian brothers and sisters, with our Native friends across America, and our non-Native as well. Keep me in mind next time you get your camcorder out. For Heartbeat Alaska, I'm Jeannie Green, waiting for your video, and I'll see you next week.
akan matasuda Apuji siu isusuda Ananut marisiok tunu Anigu iniyak tunu Kamanu Sudah